It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Wusha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty, real estate is our world.
Now we're standing here face to face, afraid to move or else.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very exciting segment of GlobeNet Realty's weekly real estate update with Wusha Chandra. And hey, we had a very good Easter break, so let's get back into the things. With that, let's welcome Wusha.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Umesh, and Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it's always wonderful to have you back. Well, Easter, so, right after Easter, I know that going into Easter, we talked about, how the activities level over the past years, and the traditional experience has been that it normally drops down. What has been the results in this Easter period?
Yes, normally it's pretty slow during Easter, but according to the records, the busiest Easter on record, with 937 homes taken to auction across the combined capital cities. There were 937 homes taken across the combined capital cities over the week, overtaking Easter 2021, which was 845, so as the busiest Easter record with 937 homes. Of the 670 results collected so far, 73.3% were very successful. The previous week saw 4,035 homes taken to auction across the combined capital cities, returning to a preliminary clearance rate of 68.7%, slipping to 64% at the final figures, which is the lowest clearance rate this year so far. Sydney was hosted to 483 auctions over the week, down from 1,490 over the previous week. Of these 364 results collected so far, 70.6% were successful, up from the previous week when the preliminary clearance rate was 65.1% that was recorded, which revised down to the clearance rate of 61.7%. So looking at though it was the Easter long weekend, it was fairly busy, and the results are there. 73.3% were successful cleared auctions under the hammer. So out of the 937 properties, 670 sold under the hammer. So very good results for the Easter weekend.
Well, that is great result because normally we don't see that kind of activities, during Easter, and over 400 plus auctions in Sydney itself. So that is, Sydney has always traditionally been a very pro-auction the area as well. Well, right now, moving across, so let's take a look at the clearance rate across the nation, and let's take a look at all the cities and how they all fared with the results during that period.
Yes, looking at the clearance result, Sydney, very good result. It's gone 70.6%. It was 68% in the last record. Melbourne has gone up from 63% to 73.6%. Extremely good results. So the total number of the auctions were 483 in Sydney, and cleared auctions were 257. Melbourne 73.6% is, and 193 properties were taken to auction, and 109 sold under the hammer. Brisbane, the market has gone a little bit down. It was 73% in the previous record, and 71%. The total number of auctions were exactly 100, and 44 sold under the hammer. Adelaide has still very steady market there. It's gone up by 2%, 78%. It was 76% in the previous record. 72 auctions, properties were taken to auction, 32 sold under the hammer. Perth and Tasmania not applicable. Canberra, amazing result there. 94%. So looking at Canberra was about 75% in the previous records, a couple of weeks records, and 94%. Amazing result there. 69 properties were taken to auction and 47 sold under the hammer. So looking at the combined capital cities of Australia, 73.3% was the average, and 937 properties were taken to auction and 492 sold under the hammer. So amazing result for Easter weekend. This is the best result in many from many years. This was the best auction results this year in 2022.
Well, definitely, and looking at the comeback on Canberra at 94% clearance rate,
Yeah.
even though the numbers might be low, but the clearance rate was 94%.
Yep.
And we had never seen that in Canberra, because Canberra, Hobart, and all these areas were not very pro auction, but looking at a 94% clearance rate there, that is amazing. That's amazing results for there. Well, but one of the other things, I know there's not always a lot of changes in this area, but it is always good to monitor the 12-month change in the property values across the nation.
Yes, let's have a quick look at Sydney. Sydney, as we discussed, has gone up 16.1%. It was about 13%, so gone quite high up there as well. Melbourne has gone up as well. It was 8%, now it's gone to 9%. Brisbane is pretty steady, same results, 29.4% last week and this week as well. And looking at Adelaide, is pretty constant, steady result there, 26.4%. Perth is same, 6.8%, and the combined capital cities, the results has gone up from 13% to 15.2%. Looking at the previous week's result. So amazing results everywhere. The market has gone up a little bit. Apart from Brisbane, it's pretty steady, and Adelaide has gone up by 0.2%.
And that is the good growth. So when you look at the combined 5 capitals at 15.2%, and that is amazing. Of course, we have seen that the lowest growth, as per the last report, once again was Perth, and the highest at 29.4 in Brisbane. So that brings the average right across the board. The average, when we look at the 5 combined capitals, at 15.2. So the inner sector, where it was always going to be a little bit dubious when the pandemic hit, but I think it has held its own and has done really, really well. Well, of course, now we've always mentioned that real estate is only as good as number of listings and listings reach. So let's take a look at what's happening in the listing scenario right across the nation.
Yeah, listings are pretty good. Capital city properties listed in the last week and the 4-week count. Brisbane was 4,342 new properties came on the market, and 4-week count is 12,892. Sydney is 6,543 new homes came on the market. 4-week count is 22,059. Canberra is 652 new homes came on the market, and 1,827 is the 4-week count. Melbourne is 7,650, quite a large number of listings there. 28,432 is the 4-week count. Darwin is 221 new properties. 981 is 4-week count. Perth is 4,028, quite a large number of listings in Perth as well. 14,163 is the 4-week count. Hobart is 361 properties, new listings, and the 4-week count is 873. Looking at Adelaide, 1,733 new properties have come on the market, and 4,615 is the 4-week count. So let's have a quick look at the combined capital cities, the total number of listings, 25,530, and the 4-week count is 85,842. So large number of listings throughout the major capital cities.
Well, wonderful to see that the listings are there. So as they mentioned in real estate, the pie. So there's enough of the pie to go around for everyone. Well, okay. Now moving on, let's also take a look at the rentals. So what is available in the rental market? So what are the properties listed for rent across the nation?
Yes, amazing results in rentals as well. Brisbane, looking at Brisbane market, 4,079 new properties in rental market. 8,326 is the 4-week count. Sydney, amazing results, quite a large number of rentals, 11,592 new rental properties on the market. 4-week count is 28,990. Canberra is 765 new rental properties, 1,410 is the 4-week count. Melbourne 11,087. Looking at Sydney and Melbourne, 11,000 plus rental properties in 1 week. So amazing results there. 28,891 is the 4-week count. Let's have a quick look at Darwin. 252 new properties, rental properties. 567 is the 4-week count. Perth, quite a large number of listings there as well. 3,304. 6,873 is the 4-week count. Hobart is 283 new rental properties. 552 is the 4-week count. Looking at Adelaide, 1,357 new rental properties on the market and 2,633 is 4-week count. Let's have a quick look at the combined capital cities. The total number of listings in rental section is 32,719. Quite a large number of listings there. And the 4-week count is 78,242. So people are saying there's a lot of shortage of rental properties, but looking at this graph and looking at the number of rental properties coming on the market is quite large numbers.
So there is a large number, so maybe the selection criteria or the affordability might have something to do with the vacancy rate, but this does not indicate the vacancy rate. It just shows the number of new listings that have come on. And amazing to see that Sydney and Melbourne around 11,000 each. That's a lot. That's a lot of properties. Well, looking at those numbers, let's see how does it equate to the medium rents and, of course, the yields in rental, because, the would-be prospective landlords would always like to follow, what is the medium rent in the cities and what's the yield on the investment?
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the Sydney market first. Medium rent is $621 per week, and the 12-month change is 8.7%, and the current yield is 2.45%. 2.48%, sorry. And Melbourne is 468 is the medium rent, and the 12-month change is 5.7%, and 2.81% is the current yield. Brisbane is 523, pretty steady rental price over in Brisbane, and 12-month change is 10.5%, quite a huge amount of change there, and yield is 3.51%. Adelaide is $464 per week, and 12-month change is 8.5%. And yield is quite good there as well, 3.77%. Perth is $496 per week, 6.6% is the 12-month change, and the current rental yield is 4.34%, quite large number over there. Let's have a quick look at Hobart. Hobart rent is quite high, $532 per week, and the 12-month change is 8.7%, and 3.65% is the yield over there. Darwin is $559 per week, quite expensive over there as well, and the 12-month change is 6.3%, and the yield is quite high, 6.4% over there in Darwin. Canberra is $674 per week, and the 12-month change is 8.7%, and yield is smaller there, 3.82%. So let's have a quick look at the combined capital cities. $522 per week is the combined capital city rate, and 8% is the 12-month change, and rental yield is 2.99%. Let's have a quick look at the regionals as well. The regional rent is $478 average, and rent the 12-month change is 10.7%, and yield is quite high, 4.5%. So quite large amount there. National is 509, and then the yield is 3.23% in the regionals there. Looking at the highest rent throughout Australian capital cities is Canberra, $674. Then comes down to Sydney is $621. The rest of the country is about in the 500s, but those are the major cities, the highest rent in those two capital cities.
Looking at the gross yields for the current period, I think Darwin takes the cake there at 6.04% of the yield. So of course yield is calculated at what you can buy a property for and the rental rates. So in Sydney the current yield is 2.4%, meaning people are paying very high prices for the property, and of course rental needs to be at that level, because otherwise people just won't be able to afford that. And similar case with Brisbane, though, even though the yield is a little bit better here, 3.51%. So again, because of the rising property values, the rent has not grown in that way, even though there's a lot of complaints about the rental prices and people are finding it hard to afford those homes in rental. So it is that period when Brisbane is coming up in the price. That's why the 29 point something growth in there. So it does not mean the rents have leaped up that much as well. So that's why the yield is slightly less. And Darwin has done very well because you can still pick up a property if the listings are less. But if you can pick up a property, the rental yield there is high because there's many people renting, and then the property values are a little bit less, but the rentals are high. So that's a pretty good snapshot for this week, and especially quite encouraging to see that, especially the post Easter, because after Easter normally people see that there is always a downward trend, but that's done very well. So how does all this look like in your trade area?
Yes, in our trade area on the north side of Brisbane, the market is still pretty steady. I mean, listings are always down there as well. And hopefully this week there will be a few more new listings coming on the market. We were just doing a search on how many listings are in our area, in our trade area. There aren't too many new listings coming up. There's quite a few townhouses are coming on the market, but not many houses. And so the prices are pretty steady in our area. The average price of a house is approximately $750. So even we sold a couple of timber homes, basic 3-bedroom for $775,000. And looking at our rental market is pretty good. I mean, there's quite high demand of rental properties in our area because of the location of the two train stations in Boondall and Nudgee College, and it's only 15 minutes to the airport. City is very close. The transport, the schools are quite good there. So rental demand is quite high. We have got a couple of new rentals. I mean, we have rented about 4 or 5 properties last week. This week we have got about 3 new properties on the market, on the rental market. There's one that has come only yesterday at 1 Jones Crescent, and that will be a completely refurbished home with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 cars, new freshly painted, new carpets, new toilets. Owner has refurbished, and that one is on the market for $650 a week. I've just sold one property and settles on Thursday. That's coming on the rental market for $750 per week. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 living areas, huge entertainment area on 556 square meters. So that will be coming on the rental market from next week with at $750 a week. We have listed another one, and another brand new management we have got last Friday, and we showed some prospective tenants yesterday, and that will be rented for $550 a week, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 cars. So rental market has gone up quite considerably in our area. Like the same house was rented for $400 and now we are getting it $550 a week. So that shows how much the rental has gone up in the area as well. So looking at, we have been fairly busy in our rental section as well. So that's the result for this week, and we'll catch up next week about some more new properties and what the market is doing in our area. One thing I would like to point out, we have sponsored the Zilmere Eagles Club on the north side of Brisbane. We've got a huge sign, a billboard on the grounds, so look out for that huge sign. It stands out from miles. So when you're driving on Zilmere Road, look at our sign in the football club in the fields.
Well, Mr. Chandra, once again, thank you so much for that update, and it is very good to see that community support, that GlobeNet has always been quite connected with the local communities there. We will maybe talk about all of those in the next segment as well. And in the next segment, maybe we'd also like to, for our viewers and just for their information, is that the properties that you have just mentioned that have come on the market for rentals, are they new ones or are they from the current ones which have become vacant?
Two of them are brand new managements, and the one is a current rental property which I sold about 20 years ago, and we have been managing for the current owner, and it was time for refurbishment. So we had a talk, Vicky had a talk with the owner, and he was willing to spend some money. And remember, that house was only rented for $450. Now we are getting $650. So with a bit of refurbishment, with a bit of money spent by the owner, we're getting $200 a week more in rent.
Well, that is amazing news that, the house that you sold about 20 years ago, there will be quite a few stories like that which we can talk about, but I'm just conscious of the time there as well. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Australian Indian Radio and Umesh Chandra.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.